million fender benders to live-streamed car crashes so stupid that the driver should be permanently limited to mopeds. These are the crashes that come with repair bills that could give Bill Gates sticker shock.
I'm most likely going to crash this car.
Jack Doherty crashes his McLaren on a live stream. We're talking about the YouTuber and kick streamer known for high-octane stunts and louder-than-life content. On October 5th, 2024, he was driving in his $200,000 McLaren 570S through Miami when he got distracted by his phone, causing him to hydroplane and plow into a barrier. The kicker? He was streaming the whole time, including when bystanders helped pull him out of the wreckage. Aside from losing his blue and orange baby, Dorsey also suffered a blow to his business, as Kick banned him soon after the clip went viral. Minus his bruised ego, Dorsey was unhurt. His passenger, however, needed stitches. As for his wallet, the vehicle was totaled, putting the cost of this crash at $200,000. This kid needs driving lessons before he turns all of Miami into a Mario Kart track. Let's head back to Texas for a crash that started out stupid and ended up sinister. It occurred in 2009 near Galveston, when a man named Andy House crashed his $1 million Bugatti Veyron into a lagoon. His reason? He was swerving to avoid a pelican. But it was later learned that the plunge was actually part of an insurance scheme, as he'd insured the Supercar for a whopping $2.2 million. Why would someone who can afford a car that expensive pull such a stunt? In February 2006, a mystery driver plowed their $1 million Ferrari Enzo into a pole while moving at over 160 miles per hour. This ended up snapping the car in half like a very expensive twig. But that was just the start. The former executive who survived the crash, Bo Stefan Eriksson, claimed he wasn't behind the wheel, forcing authorities to dig deeper into this situation. They ultimately uncovered a trail of fraud and scams worth more than $1 billion. You might recognize this as a lot more than the current fines for extreme speeding. Whoops! You can't tell from looking at him, but Mr. Bean's alter ego is also a serious car guy. Unfortunately, Rowan Atkinson should have stuck with that 77 Mini, because he's managed to crash his ultra-rare McLaren F1 not once, but twice. In one instance, the repair bill was estimated at a mind-boggling £910,000, a UK record insurance payout at the time. Years later, the car sold for roughly £8 million, which proves that the car still had plenty of appeal. His character? Not so much. During a 2019 track day at Monza's Prima Variante, a Porsche 911 GT2 RS T-boned a Pagani Huayra BC prototype reportedly driven by Christopher Pagani himself. At the time, the latter car was valued at a shocking $3.5 million. Though they weren't disclosed, the costs were likely almost equivalent to the price of the vehicle, and it was far from the only embarrassing incident to involve Pagani. A year later, in 2020, 17-year-old YouTuber Gage Gillian crashed his father's one-off Pagani Huayra Roadster, which was estimated at around $3.4 to $3.5 million. Rather than signing his son up for driving lessons or taking away his iPad, Gillian's billionaire father simply laughed the situation off. Apparently, he has a whole garage full of supercars, so as long as his kid was okay, he couldn't care less. Do we happen to have a photo of Mr. Gillian? And it only gets more expensive from here. Sometimes car companies have nobody to blame but themselves. This was the case in 2016, when a Koenigsegg 1.1 crashed on the test track at Nürburgring, when the ABS failed. The good news? They just rebuilt the car. The bad news? It forced them to absorb between $2 and $5 million in costs. Hypercar economics are not for the faint of heart, and neither is the following story. Let's head into the Wayback Machine and travel to June 11, 1955, often regarded as racing's darkest day. After a minor contact incident, a Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR driven by Pierre Levegh launched into the crowd, killing at least 82 people and injuring more than 120. In the 70 years since the tragedy, everything from the drivers to the cars to the track has been blamed. And while it's impossible to put a dollar value on the incident, it is certainly the most expensive crash on this list in terms of the human cost. A similar but far less disturbing crash occurred at the 2012 Le Mans race. In this case, Anthony Davidson's Toyota TS030 Hybrid made contact with an AF Corse Ferrari near Mulsanne Corner and went airborne. This time, the barrier managed to stop both cars, and despite how terrifying the crash was, both men survived. Davidson suffering 2 broken vertebrae. Repair costs were in the millions, but pro racing teams are used to that. Private owners, not so much. And here's a prime example. On December 4th, 2011, a group of auto enthusiasts decided to take their car out for a little drive. Unfortunately, one of them lost control while switching lanes on a wet expressway, resulting in a pileup that involved 14 autos, including 8 Ferraris, 1 Lamborghini, and several Mercedes. It's often called the world's most expensive car crash, and for once, the internet wasn't exaggerating. Estimates at the time put the combined damage at $3.8 million. Given that it was 2011, no YouTube influencers were harmed in the process. Let's go back to France for the crash heard round the world. In 2012, American collector Chris Cox decided to bring a virtually priceless 1960s Ferrari 250 GTO to a vintage road rally so that he could show it off. Unfortunately, he ended up showing off more than just the exterior when he collided with a passenger vehicle, injuring his wife and damaging a car so rare that only 39 were ever made. The vehicle was estimated at a whopping $30 million, and given the number of special items that needed to be sourced or fabricated, it's safe to say this wreck had an 8-figure price tag. Maybe Indiana Jones was right. Just put it in a museum. As you can see, neither price tags nor airbags can protect you from physics. Some crashes are deadly, others are just expensive. But when you put yourself behind the wheel of more car than you can handle, things can go real wrong real fast.